All right, welcome to the Party Pals, GRC Mafia. Right out the gate, we're here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. So typically on these streams, I do not drop the stage link itself. However, if you would like to come up, ask a question directly, have a conversation or otherwise, you're more than welcome to do so. Just drop something in chat. I'll be watching chat throughout the stream. And I can always drop the stage link if you would like to come up. One of the best places to go through and ask questions and so forth is going to be in any of the chats there. However, if you want to share links like resources or your social media profiles, the best place to do that is inside of the Discord server. So if you join our Discord server, then you could head on over to our live chat channel, and that's where you can post links that will be relayed to the rest of the platforms that we stream to as well. That's going to be the best place to connect with everybody. And then also outside of our live streams as well. The Discord server is our primary means of communication. Definitely throughout this stream. So today I'm actually going to talk about privacy policies, and we're going to go over several different examples, including one that's pretty interesting. Welcome to the Party Pal, Jason. Over there lurking, apparently. A little creepy with the eyeball there. But yeah, definitely ask questions along the way, share resources. Even if it doesn't pertain to exactly what we're talking about, worst case scenario, we'll circle back around to it. Also, if you do share something that you don't want to be public, just reach out to me on Discord or LinkedIn. You can also contact me at contact@studygrc.org. And we can go ahead and see how we can get that redacted or fixed or otherwise. And then moving forward here, we're almost done here. Also, we have B-Dubs' website, definitely worthy to check out. Not only does B-Dubs post a blog article every single Monday, but then also right now is going through a live CISSP Study Group. And so that's tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time, and then also on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Central. The best place to get more information about that is the links in the chat here. So britwhite.io and CISSP.britwhite.io. There's all kinds of awesome information there. There's even its own calendar and resources page and everything. And then, of course, we have our website as well, studygrc.org, which is going to provide you the rest of the platforms we stream to, the calendar, which is the most up-to-date information, and our resources page as well. And we are starting on that new resources page as well, finally. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And then let's get into the actual discussion today. One of the first things that I wanted to mention here is yesterday I had mentioned about going through and using Google Dorking. And some of you may not be too familiar with that or otherwise, so I wanted to just show this example here. So there's a really awesome, I didn't grab the link for this, but TryHackMe has a really good room for this that's completely free. Let me pull this up. Here it is. And so this is what I actually went through and searched. So whether I'm looking for privacy policy or I'm looking for an information security policy, just going to Google and utilizing Google Dorking can be really useful. So you could see right here, Office of Information Technology Services, the New York. So it's the ny.gov. And this is their information security policy right there. Additionally, you could find all kinds of other useful things. And so you could see here that it shows all PDFs. And it's because I'm using this file type parameter for the Google Dorking is what they call it. Now, I highly recommend for you guys to check this out. And I'm going to drop this in chat as well. So this room right here, I do believe is completely free. And this is Google Dorking's room on TryHackMe. It's a really awesome room. It gives you a really great understanding of what you can do and how you can do it and why it works as well. There's all kinds of different stuff you could do with it. There's also a couple other resources out there for Google Dorking. It is an actual term, and it's also something to look into. I wanted to share that with everybody because there was a question afterwards regarding that. Welcome to the Party Pal, KP. I also see Brexy popping in. And then also Josh. Oh yeah, no worries, Brexy. Thanks for popping in, even if you're not on the YouTube end. We do also stream to Twitch and LinkedIn as well. Honestly, the streaming through Twitch isn't bad as long as you, don't use ad blocker. Brave has some experimental filters for that have Twitch in the name. I don't know what that's about. I also don't know what YouTube's streaming policy is in regards to those conversations. Moving forward, though, I got that in chat, and then I'll go ahead and hop over to this first example. So one of the first things I wanted to showcase. Oh, yeah, I closed that, so it threw me full screen here. Bam, here we go. So you guys may be familiar with this. So Simply Cyber Academy. I'll drop the link to this as well. Simply Cyber, I'll drop their link. I think that's the right one, Team SC. I just wanted to showcase like some real world privacy policies as well. So this is actually a very short one. The policy governs the manner in which the school collects, uses, maintains, and discloses information collected from users, each a student. And I'm sure this is a boilerplate template. You guys may be familiar. So Simply Cyber utilizes Teachable as their platform for their academy. And so this is probably pretty boilerplate for it. And as in boilerplate, I mean just a template, a run-of-the-mill. It's copy and pasted. It's a universal template for the different platforms, or for the different people who utilize Teachable. I don't believe this is actually one that Jerry put together. And if he did, it would have just been customized or selected. And there's just some basic information here. So actually going through and defining personally identifiable information, PII, including but not limited to when students enroll, subscribe to a newsletter, connection with other activities, services, or features or resources. The school may collect and use students' personal information to improve customer service, to personalize the user experience, and to send periodic emails. Sharing your personal information. We do not sell, trade, or rent student personal identification information. Personal identification information. Okay, maybe Jerry did write this one. Is it just me? Personal identify. Yeah, I think it's just me reading it weirdly or something, or comprehending it oddly. Identifiable information, yeah. All right, so third-party websites. Students may find advertising or other content in our school that links to websites and services. And so we're seeing here, so they're defining, who this affects, and then also some of the definitions of what they're actually collecting, why they're using this information. And then also, this is a big thing I look for, is we do not sell, trade, or rent. That is a very important part that I look for. Now, it's also key to mention that most of the places that I see on the privacy policy state that they do not sell the PII, the personal information, which kind of rolls out and leaves open for them to rent or trade. So especially if you look into the privacy arena, it's actually pretty common for companies to trade people's data. So, oh, hey, we'll give you 10 million of our, collected data if you give us your 5 million or whatever it is, or even trade services and things like that. There was an article I read before where there was a large tech firm that actually ended up getting like servers in exchange for user data. So definitely some crazy stuff out there, but this still doesn't mean that, the third-party processors, the platforms that Simply Cyber Academy uses, such as for the mailing lists and things like that, may still have access to that or otherwise, and who knows what that has. Third-party websites, and that's what's defined out here. Changes to this privacy policy. The school has the discretion to update the privacy policy at any time and encourages students to frequently check the page. And this is also another thing that I do not really like. A lot of the different companies out there will go through and just be like, oh, well, you know, it's up to you to review this. It may be updated at any time, and, you know, we're not obligated to notify you. Agree that it's your responsibility to review. Yeah. And I think this is more so like a form of disclaimer, like, hey, you know, that's your responsibility. But at the same time, like, like Google, Microsoft, a lot of these bigger companies, they'll typically, if there's major modification, they'll actually email you and let you know, like, hey, by the way, this is our new policy going into effect in 30 days. Welcome to the party, pal. Rania. GRC Mafia. All right, and then your acceptance of the terms by enrolling in the school, you signify your acceptance to this privacy policy. And so you could see this is a pretty straightforward, short policy here. I feel like there could be a lot more here. I would also like to see some better formatting as well. But I think it's a very quick and easy, you know, oh, I have to have this done type of thing. Like I said, you can also use that Google Dorking to find a lot of other examples. I think that's probably one of the most useful things for me when I'm trying to learn, oh, you know, what does an audit look like? What does this look like? I could just search for it on Google utilizing that term, that parameter, and find what I'm looking for. Let me see. I don't know why this doesn't go in far enough here. There we go. And I really wish Google Docs had some form of dark mode, to be honest with you. I don't think that they have enabled that yet. Yeah, they still don't have a dark mode yet. Pretty outrageous. Now, this is a privacy policy that's been combined. That's also in draft. And we'll go ahead and go through some of the different sections on here as well. Again, if you guys have any questions or anything else, definitely drop that in chat. Tomorrow, I believe we're doing password managers, if I remember correctly. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we have the GRC Let's Get Technical, and I do believe that's going to be the password managers. Yep, so that's what we're doing tomorrow. I'll swap over to that real quick. And so tomorrow we'll talk about password managers, what they are, why we should use them, and some of the pros and cons, because there's also definitely cons to it as well. And then also we'll go through a live demo, hopefully better demo than that whole situation that happened with the VPN. And we'll, you know, maybe you guys want to drop your recommendations. I personally use KeyPass, Proton Pass, and Bitwarden. So I have used there's one password, which is supposed to be, you know, pretty easy to get into off the bat. I feel like Proton Pass is also pretty easy as well. Their free version is pretty limited though. And then Bitwarden, I believe they do have a free tier, but also their annual plan is only like $10 a year. So I haven't quite decided which one of all of them that we're going to go through, but if you guys have a recommendation, we could definitely run off of that too. And then I'll swap back over here. Yeah, and like Josh mentions Bitwarden, I don't like to have all of my eggs in one basket, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow for the password manager portion. But if you guys have a recommendation on like which ones you guys would like to, you know, go through a demo on, then we could run with that one. Because there's I would probably say there's probably about 7 different popular ones out there. GRC Mafia. Wednesday Eve. All right. So here at the very introduction, what I really like to try to do is the formatting. We go through and we state right off the bat, the policy explains how we collect, use, store, protect, and share your personal information. We're following the laws such as GDPR and CCPA. I did mention to you guys that one of the next things we'll actually be doing in CISO Assistant is going to be checking out their privacy section that they have now. And actually going through GDPR and CCPA separately. I think that they might actually have a mapping with both of them. But I'd have to double check. I figured we would go through and do the GDPR and then add on the CCPA or do that separately. I feel like that would be pretty easy. The GDPR is way more intensive, I would say. It covers a lot more. There's a lot more documents that are involved or at least pages involved as compared to the CCPA. And it applies to everyone who uses our services, including employees, customers, partners, and website visitors. Something that I would it does say our services. So that should cover us for everything there. Because something like our Discord server, for an example, could be considered a service. Our goal is to be clear and open about what we do with your data. We want you to trust us. It covers all personal information we collect, use, and store. Key terms, personal information, anything that can identify you, like your name, email, phone number, or IP address. You, the data subject, the person whose information we collect. Us, the data controller, Study GRC, who decides how and why your information is used. Service providers, data processors, companies we hire to help us, like cloud storage or payment services. We get your information in these different ways. You give it to us. We collect it automatically or from others. And so, like, if we ever went through and we did marketing or otherwise, I think it's best to have this in here than not have it in here. This isn't something that we actively do, but maybe one day we might. So yeah, I figured we might as well just throw that in there. And then also, it's just like our website, for an example. Everything that we utilize, I try to minimize. Like, I'm a huge advocate for privacy, and I really do try to minimize it. We do utilize Cloudflare. And so Cloudflare does have the ability to track the IP address and some of the different device data itself. But outside of that, we do not technically have any cookies on our website at all, even though I have that listed in here just to be on the safe side. Because also, like, another thing is that there are cookies that may be involved with other services or otherwise that we utilize. Welcome to the Party Pal, Space Tacos. Yeah, and if you guys were not aware, Space Tacos has a really freaking awesome Discord server as well, the GRC Audit Treasure Trove, full of, like, literally hundreds, if not thousands of resources in the GRC domains. Also a really cool section for mental health, which is a huge aspect of the industry as well. Definitely something to check out. It's definitely more of an archive than a community. But it's really useful. Like, if you're trying to look for something, you just go to that server and search for it. What we might collect. We might collect your name, your email, your phone number, your age, your gender, or location. Like YouTube, for an example, does provide this information to us for, like, what country you're located in, your gender, or your age. Now, one of the key things that I would recommend, like I said, privacy advocate, is you can go into your YouTube settings or your Google account settings, and you could disable a lot of this different information. So that way that information is not collected on YouTube. So that is an opt-in, opt-out feature. So just most people already have that enabled and they don't review it. or maybe they don't care, because also that has to do with personalized ads and things like that. And I know people who prefer personalized ads, for an example, which, you know, I mean, to each their own. Payment details such as credit card numbers. Now, this is a little bit different because we do not actually handle credit card numbers. We do have the third party for Stripe that actually handles that. And so we do not have access to the card numbers themselves. Tech stuff such as your IP address or browser type. Like I said, like Cloudflare especially. How you use our site, like pages you visit. How do we use your information to help you to improve our services, to talk to you, answer questions and send updates, to market to you potentially, and understand your usage, and to follow the law to meet legal rules. So the majority of the information that Study GRC currently collects is, if you give it to us, like you, like for communications, answering questions, the community aspect of it, which I feel is pretty straightforward. You're giving us that information for that purpose. And then also, like if you go through and you donate, or you purchase something on the merch store or otherwise, that we do actually have to maintain that information for X many years. I believe it's 7 years. So yeah. And the benefit of that though is, again, that's consolidated with Stripe, and you know, they handle that side of it. So we won't use your information for anything else without telling you first and getting your okay. Why we're allowed to use your information. So you agree to it. We need to know to do what we promise, like provide a service you asked for. The law says so, you know, like I just mentioned, the tax reporting, which is why we have to maintain that data. Like if you were to provide us a monetary amount, we have to have that for the taxes. It makes sense for improving our services or stopping fraud. So, you know, like if we do implement a service on our website or one of the other tools that we utilize, you know, that information may be utilized just to improve. But again, we try to minimize as much as possible. And then also, like another thing that many of you may not be familiar with, and we don't have it in this policy here, I don't believe. But like even if you share your phone number or your email address, things like that, that stuff is encrypted. So we do utilize a service for that. Just so that way, you know, we're not just like throwing that into our cell phones and, you know, saving it on our Google account. Although you guys could turn the treasure trove into a community aspect if you guys wanted to. There is a general chat to ask questions and things like that as well. That sucks because cookies are delicious. Oh gosh. Yeah, and then also I'm going to go ahead and stop for just a moment here. So don't forget about BDubs' website, because also that study group is running tonight at 6 p.m. But then also we have PBO tonight as well. So I'm dropping PBO. I don't think he's in chat right now, but he does pop in from time to time. He was here yesterday. And so PBO goes live every single Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So 9 p.m. Eastern, it's 8 p.m. Central Time. And you can see his channel there in the chat for PBO. And so that's Professor Black Ops. He has over 800 different videos across the domain of GRC. He has a really unique background with the DoD doing audit, worked with the IRS 1075 for information security. And then also he has like a developer type of background as well. So a lot of really awesome information. His compliance playlist is very extensive. And then tonight he'll be talking about guard duty on AWS. So lately he's been streaming on Tuesday nights regarding AWS and GRC. So then how we store your information? We keep your information safe with trusted companies we work with. That's left pretty vague, of course. There's also like a level of OPSEC, I feel. So like, especially when it comes to personal information and so forth, I don't feel like, you know, I feel like keeping it vague to some extent is a good thing, but also like, there needs to be some types of checks and balances as well. So, you know, just saying, oh, well, we keep it with trusted companies, you know, that seems pretty, okay. Like trusted companies like the federal government or, you know, North Korea or something. Who knows? For how long do we keep it? So you can see right here that from like marketing or otherwise, until you tell us to stop. So of course, if you guys don't want us reaching out to you or you want us to remove your data, which I believe we talk about in a moment, then of course we'll go through and remove that. Now, if you do, like I mentioned a moment ago, make a donation or you're a sponsor, otherwise, we legally have to maintain at least some of that information for 7 years. We only collect what we really need. That's a very, very important step right there. Like we're not out trying to be a data broker. And the less we have, the better off it is. So how do we protect it? So lock it with encryption when we send it or store it, letting only the right people see it, checking our systems often for problems, and teaching our team how to handle it safely. So especially with in the entire realm of information security, I've seen like actual InfoSec communities out there where they literally just have a publicly accessible list of everybody who's part of that community, with their social media profiles, with their email addresses and things like that. And especially when you aggregate all of that into an easy to search list or downloadable list, I find that like such a horrible thing to do, especially in the information security sector. Like that should be a big no-no, but yeah, I digress. And then, like I said, we do utilize that encryption as well. No system is perfect, but if something does go wrong, such as a data breach, we'll let you know and the authorities know as the law requires. So it's been a moment since I looked. This is another really cool thing. Let me pull this up. So there's so the IAPP has this site here, which gives you some information. I'm definitely a big fan of the IAPP. IAPP for privacy and so forth. But you can look at the state law map and you could see US state privacy tracker right here. And I highly recommend to check this out. And you can also easily find out like what laws your state has enacted and regulations you got. What I was hoping, there was a particular type of map that I was looking for here. And you guys could see it here in real time. I'd have to look through my bookmarks or otherwise. Yeah, so this shows part of it here. This isn't the exact one, but like for an example, I just had North Dakota up here. But like for an example, North Dakota for right here. So notice must be made without unreasonable delay. The Attorney General must be notified if more than 250 North Dakotan residents are affected. And so that is like one of the different regulations there actually in the law. So it actually dictates 250 or more. So if we only have a data breach of 100, we may not have to notify the Attorney General at all. We may just have to notify those individuals or otherwise. And so definitely consult your legal team and so forth. I am not an attorney. However, this is also good information to look up and be aware of. So there are these websites available like this one, which I'll also drop this link in chat. This is not the exact website that I was looking for, but I can always find the other one and drop that in Discord. I just wanted to mention that because we're talking about data breach, and we'll let you know. Who we share your information with. We might share your information with helpers, so companies that help us, like those storing data or processing payments. The law, if we have to. New owners, so if we sell or merge. Partners, if you agree, we might share it for joint projects or marketing. So like partners or something like that, I mean, that might be a situation where like, oh, you win the giveaway, you know, oh, well, hey, send me your email and I'll send it over to this individual to give you this. Or various projects or otherwise as well. And it actually does dictate there if you agree. Sending information across borders. This is a really important one, actually, especially when you look at the GDPR. So if we send your information to another country, like international servers, we make sure that it's protected by special agreements that follow the law, checking that the other country has good privacy rules. Now, there is a whole thing with GDPR and where the data is actually stored and located and so forth. There was an individual, I forget who it was, maybe you're in chat now, that was talking about how one of the tools that they were using, they made sure that they went through and actually had the servers deployed in the EU, just so that way they had less to worry about regarding the data sovereignty on where the data was actually stored. It was just easier to deploy it there than, you know, have it somewhere else like Australia or, you know, South America or something, and have to deal with not being too sure about the data sovereignty and whether or not, you know, that was a problem or not for some of those users or otherwise. Your rights. So you can see it, you can fix it, you can delete it, you can limit it, you can move it, you can say no, and you can change your mind. This, I believe, actually does go a little bit further than absolutely required, but again, we're just, you know, here to support community and so forth. So a lot of this stuff you'll see inside, especially the GDPR and some in the CCPA. So you can see it, you can ask for your information to get a copy of what we do have on you. You can fix your information. So if there's something wrong, you have the right to make corrections and modification. If you want to delete it, you can ask us to completely erase it. And if we're able to, then we will. Like I said, one of the loopholes there is that, like, for tax purposes, we may have to keep your information and we may not be able to erase it. You can limit it. You can stop us, you know, from contacting you in certain ways, or, you know, maybe you only want some of it, you know, some contact or otherwise. You can also, you know, get a copy to move it somewhere else. No vendor lock-in is primarily what that's in regards to. You can also say no for marketing or other things. And you can also stop agreeing to let us use it at any time. We do also have this email here, so privacy@studygrc.org. We'll reply within 10 business days, or as the law says. I've seen a lot of I've looked at some of the different policies out there. And so I feel like a lot of it is left kind of vague to an extent. So it says, or as the law says, you know, like I believe the GDPR actually dictates 1 month for response. And then that could be extended even past that 30 days or that 1 month. I personally feel like that's kind of excessive, but it also really depends. So cookies and tracking, we use cookies or similar tools on our websites to make it better. Kids' privacy. This is also another important thing to dictate out too. Our services are not for kids under the age of 13 years of age. We don't collect their information on purpose without a parent's okay. If we find out we do, we delete it. You'll also typically see this in a lot of different services as well. You know, 13 years of age or younger. The reason why is because there's different regulations on that type of data. And especially like services like YouTube or games and things like that, they have other things to worry about as well. And then I have this section right here. So what I would like to do eventually is when we go through and actually publish this privacy policy is we'll actually attach our assessment, our actual assessment that we've completed for the GDPR or CCPA in here. And then also you'll see here, we'll end up putting our contact information as well, because we also want to make sure that, you know, people can get a hold of us especially in regards to this. And then the policy will be updated yearly, and we'll post changes on our website and tell you about the big ones directly. And so, you know, if we have a mailing list, which we currently do not, but then also if we make any significant changes, then chances are is I would be talking about it on our Thursday primary meeting when I typically try to share that community information. And so what I would highly recommend, especially if you want to dig more into this, is use some of that Google Dorking. Go look at some of the different privacy policies. They do have the templates for SANS and CIS, and you can take a look at those and just go through and play with it. Maybe, you know, go through and draft something together and see what you come up with. I'm trying to spread these out a little bit. We still have 4 more of these videos here. But yeah, I'll probably start bringing it to an end here in a moment. If you guys have any questions or otherwise, definitely let me know. Of course, there is the Discord server outside of our live streams. And I'm going to drop that link one more time here. Yeah, thank you guys for hopping in here today. I'm going to go ahead and bring it to an end. Again, if you guys have any questions, I'll catch you guys in Discord. And then I'll also see you guys tomorrow regarding the password managers themselves. I did see Bitwarden and 1Pass mentioned earlier. So maybe we'll do, I'm thinking 1Pass. 1Pass would probably be a pretty good one. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. GRC Mafia.